Hey YouTube fam, what's good? How have you been? It's your girl Toya the Bossy One. Now let me just say this. Forever gonna be bossy. Forever gonna be bossy. But of course, as you guys know, I changed my name to Ms. Prolifically Abundant. I have to pull that out the universe, right? But just to address it, because I did get asked in one of my comment sections on why did I switch the name. So I just want to put it out there so that everybody knows. The reason that I changed my name is because I am active on YouTube as far as commenting on other people's timelines or other people's, videos. And due to the fact that I am also outspoken and I do have a strong opinion at times, I changed my name because that would be like the first point of attack. Oh, you're not bossing anything, or you think you bossy, da da da. No, sweetie, I'm not trying to come over here and boss anything. Trust and believe. I only want to be bossing over business that I know of. I don't want to boss anybody else's business, just my own. But the name, like that would be like the first thing they would try to attack. Like, oh, you think you're bossing up, da 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 da. So I just wanted to be polite and respectful to people. No, I don't want to boss up. I don't want to boss up with you at all. I want to boss up my own stuff. So I changed to Prolifically Abundant. That way we can agree to disagree, because see, some people don't know how to agree to disagree. And when you are, a female or even a male that stands with your 10 toes down, feet forward, they can't take that. They expect for you to perch your feet, stand to the side, bow your head. That'll never happen with me. I'm always 10 toes down, feet front. Some people call it alpha female. Some people call it independent. Some people call it bossy. Whatever you want to call it, it is what it is. I'm always going to be 10 toes down when it comes down to how I feel and how I address other things and how I approach it. No one is going to make me duck my head. It just will never happen. So at the same time, I do have respect for others on their platform. So I don't come, sword blazing, but I can see how the name could possibly make some people feel that way, right? No harm, no foul. I changed it. Not a big deal. But I'm always going to be bossy. That'll never change. So with that being said, it's actually a good segue to the video that I wanted to make today. And before I get into the topic, I just want to say that I actually recorded a whole video and I was discussing soulmates versus twin flames. And I did it on my iPad and I thought it was just great. I edited it down and everything. And I don't know what happened to it. Like, honestly, I don't know what happened to it. And I was just like over it. You know what I'm saying? Because I did different takes, because what I didn't know is like when you sign into your iCloud account or whatever, it also like will ring when my other phone rings. So I was just over it. I'm like, look, I'm not about to be going back, because people were calling me, on my other phone, because that's like, my business line. And of course, you guys know, that I am in between jobs right now, waiting on my background check to clear for something. You guys keep me in your thoughts, positive vibes, and everything goes through. But regardless to whatever, I'm going to be okay. We know this, right? But it was my business phone. I was doing it during business hours. So every time I would get like halfway through the video, it would ring. So I just was like, you know what? Let me finish it out, edit it, and I did that, and then it erased. So I'm just like, okay, I got to figure this out. But I do like the quality on the iPad better than the iPhone. But right now I'm using my Android. That's neither here nor there. We ain't got to get all to those details. So I will be re-recording that video again, but I have to get back in that headspace, because I tap into different energies when I do different things, and I have to really just do what's on my heart. Otherwise, it comes off as unauthentic and kind of ill-advised, and I don't ever want to, put information out there and it's misleading because my delivery is off. You get what I'm saying? So once I'm back in that headspace, I will definitely be re-recording it. I think it's a good topic and it's something that, is worth discussing. But what I want to get into today is this: righteousness. I think that we, as a community, as a generation, have really been tainted down, indoctrinated, and just basically submerged into religion so much, and the things that are going on in this world so much, that we are forgetting what it is to be an upstanding person. Live your life righteously, and your life will go according to the flow of nature, right? That is the thing that we're getting away from. And we let all these other entities, like we talk about sin and different things like that, like, or, if you do this, you're going to hell and all these other things, that we actually have taken that entity as far as a heaven and hell, and we place heaven in the sky, hell in the ground, and sin is the catalyst to get you either way, right? So if you don't sin, you get to heaven. If you sin, you go to hell. That's not what it is. Heaven and hell is a mind state, period, point blank. I don't care what nobody tells you. Heaven and hell is a mind state. When you die, this body goes back to the ground from which it came, and your energy is released, and you will at that point either ascend, reincarnate, whatever your agreement is, whatever it is, whatever life journey that you're on, that's what will happen to that energy. It is not going to go to a heaven, hell, purgatory, none of that. Those are all mind states. When you are feeling great, elated, maybe right after you had, a little good rendezvous with your partner, you're probably in heaven, right? When you've got fired, maybe you got in a car accident, God forbid you were shot and you're in a hospital, or you might get diagnosed with cancer or something, you're in hell, right? When you can't decide whether you want to wear black or navy blue to the interview that you just got, you're in purgatory, you're in limbo, right? These are all mindsets, but we've been indoctrinated to think that these are actual places, and if I do this right, that right, and I play this numbers game, or I'm doing this, and I have these sins, then I'll get to heaven. I won't go to purgatory, or I don't give a damn if I go to hell. I'm already in hell. That was about the realest statement that you could possibly make, and you always equate it to the negative, right? Because you never hear people say, I feel so good, I'm in heaven, I must be in heaven. No, you hear people say, well, it can't get no worse for me, I'm already in hell. Like, it's like when it comes down to the negative, that's easy to believe, but we can't believe that we can transcend into anything good. When it's a good thing, it has to be outside of us or above us or something like that. Like, it can't exist within. That's not the case. And that is what is putting us directly out of tune with nature, out of tune with the universe. And thus, we don't have that connection with the energy and the being that surrounds us, that we really don't understand, but really is the God sense, or the God box, or however you want to call it, right? See, one of the things that made me start to realize that, a lot of what has been taught to us has to be off, is because if you ever, and this is just a sidebar, but think about it, right? If you ever were to just look in the sky and you see different planets, and they say, okay, this is Venus, or that's, Jupiter, or Saturn's visible. When you're looking at it with the unaided eye, as far as just looking from like a human standpoint, when you look at it, you'll see, hold on a second. Sorry about the interruption, you guys. I had a phone call come in. But anyway, like I was saying, when you're looking at the planets with the unaided eye, they look like stars, right? But when you look at them through a telescope, you actually see the planet, right? So somewhere out there in this universe that is infinity and beyond in both ways, someone is looking at us and we appear as a star. But when they see our planet through the telescope, They see it's an actual planet, not a star. So there are so many things out there that we're looking at that we think are one thing, but they're actually something else. And it's crazy that that concept is so hard to grasp when we try to put it into everyday life, but it's so simple. It's so simple. Things are not what they appear. Everything is moving parts. Everything has moving parts. Our whole world is water. Like, we are actual fluid beings, and we're moving through a fluid matrix, but we look at each other and we think that we're condensed or we're just solid masses, but we're not. Everything that we have that makes us human beings is moving and is vibrating all the time, even when you're asleep. And I'm saying all of this to say that, yes, there's going to be trials and tribulations. Yes, there's going to be things that are going to happen in our lives that we have no control over. Yes, we're going to have bad days. Yes, there's times when our peace is going to be disturbed, but it's never an excuse to not live righteously. It's never an excuse not to make the righteous decision. And sometimes the righteous choice doesn't always seem like it's the best choice, or the righteous choice is not always the easiest choice, but it is the right thing to do. Hence, when someone says, if a person sticks to you closely, they're your right-hand man or your right-hand girl. You don't want to be to the left or to the adverse angle of anything that is righteous sake, because righteousness keeps you in line and keeps you in tune and keeps you vibrating at a capacity that you get the things that you manifest. That you get the things that you put into the universe, that you can make those quantum leaps in your life. Those things, being righteous, allows you to be at peace and in harmony even when you're going through trials and tribulations, because you know that you are walking through this valley for righteousness' sake. You're going to make the proper choices as a person. That is the key that will get you from A to B with the least resistance. But we get so much resistance because we try to curb, or we do things differently, or we've taken the God out of ourselves and we've put him in the sky somewhere. And then when we go and do off the wall things, we think that we're ducking this God that we put in the sky from seeing us. But the reason why they say God is omnipresent and why God is everywhere is because God is in you. You can't put you in the sky and leave you behind when you do some crazy stuff. And that's why every time you do something off the wall, you get nailed for it. If it's not in alignment to you. If it is in alignment with you, then yes, you reap the benefits of it. Hence the reason why some people say, well, why does it seem like all the bad people finish first? Because they're in their righteous state. This is the alignment that they have. They're vibrating righteously. So they're reaping the rewards because that's the vibration that they bringing in. They understand. They have the key. What is the biggest secret? The biggest secret is that we are our own authors of destiny. We are the original people here, and we control the narrative. We can control our own lives. That's the secret. But we're so confused and indoctrinated and so religiously bogged down that if someone tells you that, you'll reject it. And that's exactly why you walk around in the dark with your blinders on, and everything and anything in the world is happening to you, and you're perpetually complaining about everything, and you're taking it and you're putting it in the sky and you're asking God, why, when you need to just stand up in the mirror and look at God and say, why? Why am I allowing myself to go through this? Why won't I accept that I'm greater than what I give myself credit for? Why won't I accept that I am the author of my destiny? Why won't I walk in what is righteous for me? Because what's righteous for me might not be righteous for you, but still walk in your truth. You can't pattern it after everybody. Everybody didn't come here to walk on water, period. It's just the truth. And even on that situation, when On that little story I just said about walking on water, I mean, people take that literally. They really think Jesus like stepped outside on a boat and like walked across, water to Peter. But that's not the story. Read it. He walked on water. Jesus was fasting. He was only drinking water. And it shocked Peter that for 40 days and 40 nights, if you only drink water, you can still get up and walk. That's what Peter meant when he said Jesus walked on water. I mean, something that simple. Misleading story. You have 90% of the world's population believing that Jesus actually got out of a boat and walked across. If Jesus was real, that he actually got out of a boat and walked on water to Peter. And that is not what that story meant. And that's the point. Dig deeper. The memory of who you are, of what you are and how great you are, has already been put inside of you. The memory is there. It's in your DNA. You just have to tap into it. But it's with you, and no one can take that away from you. But you can sit down here on Gaia and be all confused if you want to. But my suggestion would be, get right with the person in the mirror and learn yourself better than anybody else can tell you, and learn what your righteousness' sake is and start to walk in that. And then come back and tell me how your life is going. Until next time, you guys, always remember, be prolific, be abundant, do something good for yourself, and do something good for somebody else. Until next time, peace, y'all.